What's good, everybody? I know it's been a while. It's your boy Lethal. Hey, man, there's a lot of news to get into, especially surrounding NBA 2K24. But first, this dude right here, bro. How do you supposed to defend this shit? So going into NBA 2K24, everybody's just excited to get their hands on the builder. We know crossplay is going to be a thing. We're going to talk about that later in the video. But the most exciting thing is knowing the squad you're going to be running with and what build you're going to make, right? Because I know for me and my squad, I always know the type of player I want to make year from year, but I always have to adjust them based upon the game. You know, what badges are good, what's very overpowered, things like that. I have been using a character that couldn't dribble for so long that this year they finally let me make a 6'9" point guard who can actually handle the ball without getting ripped. I was the most unstoppable player ever. No, I couldn't shoot threes, but it didn't matter. And the crazy thing is, if I wanted to make a super OP build that could shoot threes, dunk, mid range, and defend pretty decent, I could have made that. I just chose to maximize my skills to try to help my team as we competed through different leagues and things like that. And because I did that, we ended up winning the championship this year in the 2K league. So, with that being said, looking at the builder, as you see this man, he got off early too. Looking at the builder, I'm thinking in my mind, are people still going to try to run with the meta from NBA 2K22? Because in 22, that's where the whole play shot making fades was a thing. And people that just carried that over into NBA 2K23. And as you notice this year, when 6'9s became a thing, you had two styles. You had teams running five out with all 6'9s. You had teams running five out with a 6'1. And then you had your traditional, point guard, shooting guard can both do the same thing. Your small forward, power forward, both all world defenders and can shoot the three ball. And the big man was going to set screens and grab every rebound. So you had that traditional lineup. And to be honest with you, there was no style that was typically better than the other. It just depends on how well you can play defense and how fluent your offense was. So if you got a guard like we're going against now who can make 80% of his shots and just correctly, dot his teammates when needed, it was going to be hard to beat a team like this. But if you had a guard who was trying to do all that stuff but wasn't good at it, you just blow that team the fuck out because they didn't have enough defense to sustain their offense. So, I mean, I've seen both sides. I mean, obviously going into NBA 2K24, the plan for me is to build something very similar that helped me win the championship, which for me was a 6'9", 215-pound guard who can dunk everything. Right, I'm gonna do everything. I'm gonna grab every rebound that I can on the offensive side, but you're not gonna be able to stay in front of me because I'm too fast. And if I get any type of launch pad, I'm just going to dunk it. So I'm already in my mind thinking about making that build. The build you see me using in this video was something I made based off of all the builds I've had so far this year. And I've just been kind of grinding with it. He has 99 defensive rebounds, so I can try to help grab more defensive boards. But his pass accuracy isn't as high as I would like. His drive and dunk only goes to 86, which is, I mean, it's good enough for this game because you get limitless takeoff gold, but I miss having limitless takeoff Hall of Fame. I miss having posterizer Hall of Fame, along with the passing ability. I swear, with the other guy, I averaged like close to 35 points per game with about 12 assists. So I think for me, that's just a better version of a point guard that I want to create from now on. But then you got this meta point guard that I've been talking about it for years because I feel like if it was came down to Stephen Curry and Giannis, right, and they had to sit there and play one on one, I believe Giannis would win. Obviously, I'm talking about like make it, take it, game to like either 7 all ones or we're going to 11 with twos and ones. The thing I would say about that format though is if you play one-on-one in a different format where it's not make it take it, I honestly do believe that Steph Curry is the favorite in that matchup just because of the ability to shoot the three ball. Now again, if it's all ones, I'm a favorite the bigger, faster, stronger player. But as soon as you throw that three ball up in there, I have to favor the guy that can shoot the three ball the best. And I don't like to just throw Curry in there. I'm looking at all these guards, a Trae Young, a Damian Lillard, a Kyrie Irving, a Darius Garland, all these style of point guards that can shoot the three ball and dribble really, really well. I mean, it's very few guys of that mantra that can shoot the three ball that well and dunk the ball like a Donovan Mitchell per se. Like, that's the thing I don't like. It's like you can create this guard that's so unstoppable offensively that there's nothing you can do to stop him. He can shoot the three ball like Curry and he can dunk like he Kobe Bryant. Like I don't. That's the version of the guard I'm talking about, and I'm sick of seeing. Like they have to do something to try to lower that because that's what's going to bring the skill back to 2K. With that being said, my opinion on skill, I don't think it makes sense for 2K to bring back a skill gap. I know a lot of people probably like, what are you talking about? There's plenty of skill in 2K. Like, no, it's not. There's no skill gap. The game is designed to be easy to pick up and play, especially if you're just like a first-time user of the game. That's how the game is designed. Right? That's why even when you play regular play now online games, you don't even have to like strategize to win. You don't have to do substitutions or anything. You can leave your starters in the entire game and still have a good chance of winning the game. You know, I'm somebody that plays almost 2K besides my team. I know exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to 2K. I have played every single one that's ever came out. So, what I'm telling you is like over the years, it used to be a thing where they focused on more realism, especially like 2K5, 2K6, 2K7. And then just over time, as the game grew to be more popular, they started adding more animations and different things like that. And then it's now gotten to a point where you don't need a lot of IQ to play because the skill of the players are so high. Right now, everybody now can shoot a three ball. Since everybody can shoot, it's not very skillful to shoot anymore. Right? You don't need the highest three ball. Like, there's guys that shoot the same percentage whether they have a 99 three ball or an 83 ball. Right? There's no difference between the two. If they're wide open with a jump shot, they're going to make it. You know, I have guys on my team that can do just that, so I know exactly what I'm talking about. So it's not very skillful anymore, and I wish they would bring that back. I kind of miss the archetypes to a degree, and I'm wondering if they're going to go in that direction because what archetypes did is it allows you to be very good at specific things. And, you know, if you wasn't good at other things, it's fine, but then that's when the strategy comes in. Like, you know, are you going to favor offense or are you going to favor defense? But to my knowledge now, the game is just solely based on offense. You can't do much defensively to stop anybody. And as good as I am at the game, I can admit that like now that they allow me to be as tall as I want to be and dribble, I'm unstoppable. There's nothing you can do to stop me. You're not gonna rip me because my unpluckable is high. I have enough speed with ball to get to where I want to go. It's so many things that go into it. And even though I'm a very, very good defender, when I'm guarding other people and I know what they're doing and I can't lock onto them the way I want to, it's because that's the way the game was designed. They want it to be more offensive friendly. That way more people want to play it. More people want to break ankles and make crazy shots. You know, I can't be mad at what the consumer wants because they're the ones that's making 2K rich. Hopefully, though, when it comes to like the pro-am scene, they could give it a little bit more of a skill gap just when it comes to this. Now, if they want to say the park and rec and make it all wild, I'm fine with that. You know, I have no problems with that whatsoever. But when you talk about 3v3 pro-am and 5v5 pro-am, where rankings and things like that are going to come into play. I believe, make it a little bit more competitive, make it a little bit harder to shoot. All right, so that way, when you start picking your character, you have to be very selective as to what you want to do and what you want to build. Right? I don't think people that have a 90 three-pointer should shoot the same as somebody that has like a 77 three-pointer. And consequently, I don't think somebody who has 90 some defense or a 90 steal should be plucking the ball at the same rate as somebody with a 70 steal. That's just my opinion. That's just how I feel. Hopefully, NBA 2K24, they start to listen to the community more and give the community what it wants for both sides. My solution to the whole skills gap thing and everything like that is in the park and in the rec, there should be no record. Right? There should be no win-loss total in the park and the record. What they should have is some type of system to say how good you are. Right? 1 second. Sorry about that. But they should have something that pertains to how it was in the park in NBA 2K15-16, where you had some type of icon that shows how good you are playing in the park. But I don't believe there should be a record attached to that. Like, if more people would play against legends if they didn't have to worry about how bad their record looks. You know what I'm saying? I think the only time records should matter is in ranked gameplay or pretty much 5v5. I think Pro Am is the only place where records should matter. Now, I'm fine with them showing shooting percentages and things like that. Games played is fine, but don't show wins and losses in the rec or in the park, because what you want to have happen is more people playing with each other, even if it's random. I don't want to be penalized if somebody wants to troll in this rec game. I want to just be able to go in and play. If somebody's playing around, I don't want the game to count against me, because it's not a true parameter of my skill level or how good I can play. You know how it is when you play with randoms, sometimes they're not passing the ball. And the crazy thing about it is, back in 2K16, when the Jordan Rec came out, I promise you, people used to pass the ball. I think because the game was new, the concept of it was new, it was something that a lot of people was very interested in. You saw a lot of people passing the ball and trying to play more appropriate basketball. Not to mention, at first, it wasn't very overpowered. All right, now once people got used to the game and they realized they can, get certain jump shot boosts and score as much as they want to, then it got kind of wild. But for the most part, that was the first start of Pro-Am for most people, playing 5v5 in that type of setting. And people actually played team ball. Like, it didn't even matter whether you won or lost, you just had fun playing the game. Because people tried to play the right way. Nowadays, every guard plays like this point guard here, where they can just dribble, waste all the shot clock, throw up a three-pointer fade, and make it. And because they make that shot, they feel like they're the most skilled player on the floor. But that's another reason why I said shooting doesn't take any skill. If you can waste all your energy and throw up a shot and make it, I'm sorry, there's just no skill in that. Eventually, if you keep running around based off the angles of the movements of the game, you're going to get an open shot and you can just green it every time. That's trash to me. If you're good, create your shot and knock it down. Make a move, give me a good move and knock it down. If you got to take 20 seconds to come up with a move to try to score, I just don't think you're very good. And then at the same time, I don't like how people, snatch back and you have to react to the three. Like, because people can make that shot, you have to react to the three-point line and they just go around you to score. Because it's not realistic. In real life, you only got so much time. I'm putting a certain amount of pressure on you. And if you don't make your move soon, you're out of energy. You have to give the ball up. Different things like that. So, the fact that And even if you watch Steph Curry, that's like the main person we look at when as far as just dribbling and shooting. Curry does a lot of his stuff off ball, so he's not handling the ball, wasting his energy. He's just rotating around the court. Setting himself up to get an open shot, and he knocks it down. And if you overplay that, then he'll put it on the floor and get to the basket. But his moves are very decisive. He's not waiting like James Harden, who's going to sit there and dribble the whole shot clock and then force up a bad shot at the end. Now, what James Harden did very well was he'll either give his move and go early or do his step back three-pointer early. But the later, if you watch, the later he got into the shot clock, the worse decisions he made. And that's just real life basketball. That's all I be asking for in a video game, just to be a little bit more realistic. Don't let everybody make every shot, make it hard, and make people have to defend, make people have to be decisive. That's all I ask for. So, now that we kind of talked about that and how I feel about Pro-Am and what they should do to improve people's experience, just simply separating ranked and unranked, let's talk about the biggest thing that's come out, the biggest news that's come out about NBA 2K24, which is crossplay. So my opinion on this is it doesn't really matter whether you're on the Xbox side or the PlayStation side. It doesn't really matter, because now it's going to be a thing where it's just one whole world with players in it. I don't know if they're going to have like a blue icon for PlayStation and a green icon for Xbox or anything like that, but all I do know is all the shit talking you did at the lunch table at school, all the talking you did with your coworker at the job when you had different systems, all that's about to come to an end. Like, it's put up a shut up time. It's not, to me, I don't think it's a thing for real where it's like Team PlayStation versus Team Xbox, just simply because now that you can play with each other, I think more people are excited to do that as opposed to going against each other. You think about it, it used to be a thing where there's a top team on PlayStation and a top team on Xbox. Or even you take it back to NBA 2K15, 16 in the park where they're like Poor Boy Sim was like the number one PlayStation player, and then whoever was the first legend for Xbox was the first Xbox player, right? Now it's a thing where if they was grinding for some type of leaderboard and you hit number one, you're legitly the best player in the world, right? If you rank number one, then you're legitly the best player in the entire world. That's like the only good thing I can see coming out of this. But other than that, I'm excited to like play in the different Pro-Am leagues just to see, see some of these top ranked players that you always hear about. Guys that mainly only play Xbox. Like, one second. Apologize for that. I'm a little sick, so every time you hear me say 1 second, my voice is kind of going out. I got a cough or whatever, but it is what it is. I have allergy season around this time. But back to the point. Now, for me, I think Sid67 was a very important YouTuber for me. He's a Twitch streamer now, but he was somebody that I saw grind from legend with a pure point forward. I liked his build. I liked his philosophy and how he played. And I loved the knowledge he used to kick. Just talking about basketball in general. But he only played on the Xbox side, so I never had a chance to see him. So now it's a good chance that if he's just out there running with his crew, he playing with League of Shadows, that's his Pro-Am team, my team can match up against his team. And I get to whoop his ass properly. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what I'm excited for, to go against some of these top-ranked players and top-ranked teams. I know how it goes, though. Like, these guys are only going to play at the beginning of the year. Guys is going for the 2K League and stuff, and once they make the league, then you rarely ever going to see like some of these names again unless you just inside certain circles. I know for a long time I always used to watch Twitch streams to see all these teams play and stuff like that. And I finally got a team that was good enough to compete to the point where we got past certain points. Like, I promise you, at one point in time on the PlayStation 5, my team was the best team in the world. Like, our win to loss ratio was so good. I promise you, you had to play perfect to beat us. So I felt like we was the best team in the world. We beat teams that had played on national stages and different things like that. So I knew we was good. And at the time, I still wasn't using like a character that fully mastered my strengths. You know, I think the best build I had this year, besides the guy I won the championship with, was my two-way floor general. And the only reason why I could not continue using that build was because I could not figure out how to do post hooks. So it made my scoring suffer because I wasn't able to pull a mid-range jump shot with him. And once I realized that, it changed everything. I wish I had a mid-range jump shot with that guy. And man, I don't think teams really could have beat us then. If I could have added like an 80 mid-range to that guy, I promise you we would have been the best team ever. I had all the defensive things you can ask for, which allowed me to play the middle of the zone, which means anytime you had to switch, you had to see me. So our defense was A1 at that point. And then offensively, I had like a 90 pass accuracy with him. I had a 99 post control. It wasn't really to back people down or nothing. It was just so I can do post spins and pass out the post. And I was so good at that we was just unstoppable. But you know, it is what it is. I have had a great 2K year with my team. I'm very proud of what we accomplished. And I just want to take the same momentum into NBA 2K24. I don't know if guys on my team is thinking about going to the Xbox side or even thinking about possibly joining another team. As you can tell by the end of the year, I haven't produced as much content. You know, it's not by accident. It's the end of the year. 2K is kind of dead for most of us, especially for me since I'm older. You know, I have other responsibilities that's just way more important than 2K to me. So that's what I'm focused on. For guys on my team that's a little bit younger, they're kind of just waiting for the game to come back around. If we can hop on and play, we do. We mainly been played in the rec, beat everybody in the rec, so we might play one or two games here and there. But this was a game I wanted to show because, man, dude really dropped 53 points on me. As you can see down the stretch, we made a couple adjustments. We went to the 2-3 zone. You see me in the middle of the 2-3 zone. And the reason why I did that is so I could play the center and stop him from freely roaming and dropping. And once we did that, we made some key plays down the stretch. I was able to seal it here with a couple of free throws, but I promise y'all I could not stop that dude. I was on the phone the whole first half. And then after that I had to sit up and try to lock in because this dude was a killer. Imagine two guards on the same team that could shoot the way he shot the ball this game. You see why that strategy is so effective. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed today's video. I look forward to grinding in NBA 2K24. That's if I get the game. You know, I still don't know if I'm going to get it or not. More than likely I will, but I might wait a little bit. You know, it just depends on how bored I get by the time the game comes out. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed the content. It's lethal. Catch you in the next one.